What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files, Going Deeper edition. I'm still in New York because I like fashion. We have a great episode for you. The one, the only Camille Kostek is with us. Good friend of the show, big Bachelor fan. Just coincidence, but we won't be talking about that. We'll be talking about pop culture stuff, her life, her relationships. She's been in a loving relationship with Rob Gronkowski for some time now. Maybe she has some tips and tricks with us, for us. I know she does. She shares a lot. It's great. You'll love this episode. Oh, by the way, I got a book coming out. Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. I'm holding it in my hand. I think it's really good. I think if you haven't pre-ordered it yet, especially if you're someone who's, been stuck in a situationship before, which I know a lot of you have. Maybe you've been cheated on. Maybe you're in a relationship. You're not sure if you really should stay or go. Are you thinking about moving in with your partner? Have you moved in with your partner? Tips and tricks in there. Everything I talk about is things I've learned the hard way, and I'm hoping that you guys don't have to as well.
Also, it's a great gift.
I
myself just bought 3 of them.
I was just going to say, if you have a friend who talks in circles about the same thing over and over again, and no shade because we've all been there, say, I'm not going to give you any more advice. I'm not going to listen to this until you read the book, because the book will speak into your soul. It will look you in the eye and say, hey, enough.
And it's a fun, easy read, and it has a nice hardcover to it. It's nice. It's like it makes it good. Anyways, pre-order the book. If you could do that right now, I'd appreciate it. But seriously, it's really good.
Also, use the link in Nick's Instagram bio, because that link will also support local bookstores, so you can feel really good about yourself.
We love a local bookshop.
It's a link in my Instagram bio. Just go there, click on that. It's less. I think it's less than you'd buy.
They do have a little
else.
discount. Yeah,
a little discount.
It was slightly cheaper than even Amazon. Yeah,
and it will be procured at a local bookstore. You'll get it the same way as if you bought it on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or anywhere else. Which you're welcome to get there as well. But just pre-order it. Just for me or for yourselves. I mean, just do it for me, please, and thank you. And then you'll have it ready to go on October 4th when it comes out. Anything new with you, ladies?
I feel googly-eyed. My boyfriend got me flowers after picking me up from the airport, and so I'm feeling. I feel like I finally crossed the threshold where I'm definitively comfortable being ugly in front of him, or I've stopped noticing it.
Were the flowers in the car, or were they waiting for you at home?
It was he picked me up from the airport, then we went to the grocery store to just get something to make a quick little dinner, and he got me flowers there.
Okay, pretty good.
Was there an answer that you thought was preferable, more impressive?
No, I just was I was thinking selfishly for myself. I always had them waiting at home or something like that. But I was curious if he wanted to bring the flowers to the airport. I wasn't sure what his move was. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong, but
no, I think it was very spontaneous. I don't think he'd been planning on doing it. But it was. I did just kind of realize, because I feel like it's after the first several dates, especially if you stay over at someone's house and you see them in the morning, you definitely get to the point where it's okay, I know you're not seeing me at my best all the time, but recently taking care of your dogs, because there was one day where he came over and I realized I hadn't looked in the mirror all day and that I didn't care about that. And that was just a huge moment of oh, wow, we're at this point in the relationship. It takes me a while to get there with people.
Do you think you're still in the honeymoon phase?
I think, I met his family. I met his aunt and uncle and a bunch of his cousins who live in the LA area. And so I think in that regard, there's all this exciting newness. And we're going to go to, one of my friends invited me to her wedding this coming October that we're going to go do together in Joshua Tree. So I think we're still having those milestone experiences that feel very honeymoon, ooh la la. But in terms of day-to-day life, I don't think we're in the honeymoon phase.
Okay.
That's awesome. Good work.
I'm
happy for you.
Because I feel I was just I feel I was just trying to be I want to vet this 100% before I let myself feel too out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel I've just gotten to a point where it feels really comfortable not having to assert a high level of control. He's just really awesome. He's very funny and awesome. So I'm boring and googly-eyed.
You still think you're still obsessed with each other?
Obsessed?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think he was ever obsessed with me.
I don't think that. Yeah, it was never an all-consuming.
I don't mean in an unhealthy way. I just mean a mutual, true excitement that you both feel for each other. Which ultimately, I think that's the honeymoon phase. It's just this kind of carefree excitement. Even past the getting comfortable with each other and meeting family and things like that. To me, I kind of think the honeymoon phase is over when all of a sudden you're still in love, but like you start like instead of seeing them and immediately getting excited because it's you're obsessed in an exciting sort of way, you might get annoyed, and then after the annoyance of whatever it is that annoys you about them, you're like, oh, I still love you. You start seeing an annoyance rather than you see this like person who can do no wrong. I don't know.
I think to me, maybe the biggest indicator of like ending the honeymoon phase is that I no longer, if I don't feel like a sense of like real enthusiasm or passion for him to be spending time with me, I now have the larger context of being like, he had a really long day at work today. And I now like know a little bit, like I know more flavors of him. Like I'm not just getting the flavor of like we're seeing each other and it's excited, like kind of like you were saying about the honeymoon element where it's like, ooh, like butterflies, where I've gotten to the point where it's like, oh, sometimes we spend time with each other and it's not like we're super rah, let's go hang out. Like it's just nice seeing someone who's like kind of tired or mildly annoyed. Like he's definitely seen me be kind of like slightly bitchy, like just those kind of like shades of like gray.
Being human. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a great episode for you. Don't forget to pre-order the book. Don't text your ex happy birthday. Big week next week with the finale coming up. I don't know who we're going to get, but hopefully someone real pissed off about their relationship. Not
Scorned gentleman.
Scorned. We're looking for someone scorned. Just kidding. I'm sure they'll all be respectful. All right. Let's get to Camille. There is nothing more ridiculous and time-consuming and frustrating than trying, like, you get a good picture, you want to frame it, and then it just takes forever, and you got to go to, like, one of these, like, stores. It costs a fortune. Well, not with FrameBridge. Start decorating your home with some of these. You have all these cameras, you got your iPhone, and we need to start printing our photographs a little bit more, and you can decorate it for yourself or for your loved ones with FrameBridge. They make it so easy. Just go to framebridge.com and upload a photo. They'll send you packaging to safely mail your physical pieces. Preview the items online in dozens of frame styles and gallery wall layouts. Choose your favorites to get free recommendations for their talented designers. The experts at FrameBridge will custom frame your item and deliver your finished piece directly to your door, ready to hang. Again, or you could deliver it directly to your friend's door or a loved one if you give it a gift. It's an amazing gift to give to someone that like maybe you don't live in the same neighborhood or area. They ship it right there for that person. Allie, myself, Amanda, we've all used FrameBridge. Allie, don't you have something hanging directly above your
above
bed?
My bed? I do, and it's a giant
I only know this
photograph.
You mentioned this.
It's a giant photograph of the Santa Monica Pier that my friend took, and he used like an amazing camera. And if you print that at just like a random place,
how much did that cost you at FrameBridge?
Shockingly less than everywhere else. I'm pretty sure other people were quoting me like $500 or $600.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And
if
this
you go
was
to
like
store. Yeah.
between $100 and $200. I think it was just crazy different.
Their prices start at $39, and all shipping is free. All shipping is free. Plus, our listeners get 15% off their first order at framebridge.com. when you use our code VIALL. So get started today. Frame your photos and send someone the perfect gift. Go to framebridge.com and use promo code VIALL to save an additional 15% off your first order. That's framebridge.com, promo code VIALL. Framebridge.com, promo code VIALL. Framebridge. Yes. Anyone in here like going to the doctor for lab tests?
Resounding no.
No.
Silence from the group.
Well, if you're like us, think of Everlywell, because it's still good to know information about your body, things that you might be allergic to. Maybe you've had a little fun out there and you need to do some, STD tests. That's fine. It's always good to be safe and get ahead of it. Food sensitivity tests. Also, we're all made differently, and the great people at Everlywell, the women's health test is available to better know about your body, information that might be helpful. Everlywell, their at-home lab test and vitamins and supplements can help you get the knowledge and support you need so you become a healthier you. If you're experiencing symptoms and you don't know where to start, Everlywell is committed to listening and supporting your journey toward better health and wellness. Everlywell women's health test measures 11 biomarkers known to play a role in your overall health and wellness, and checks for any abnormal levels that may be keeping you from feeling your best self.
The nice thing about Everlywell is it makes everything very clear and easy to understand, because I feel like in doctors' offices, sometimes they'll use all these words and I'll be like, I don't know what's happening. Can you tell me what to do? Everlywell will break everything down for you, and it will make it so easy to seek out next steps should you want to. And that's rare in the medical field.
I don't like instructions. I really don't like reading them. And sometimes I just like to go rogue. But this was so simple that I thought I was doing something wrong, to the point where I thought I would get a result from them of like inconclusive. And they were like, no, you did everything right. It's that simple.
The label comes in the no printer involved.
No printing.
That's huge. You
Just
do not need to print the
drop
label.
it in that
It could not be more
post
simple
office box.
to just to use the label that they send you.
Peel off that sticker. Slap it.
Well, you
Throw
heard
it.
it from us. Everlywell is making life easier and helping you be your best self. And for our listeners of the show, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/VIALL. That's everlywell.com/VIALL for 20% off your next at-home lab test. everlywell.com/VIALL. Camille, how's it going?
Good.
It's good to be with you.
It's actually kind of wild. I don't remember how many years ago it was
That we met.
that we've met.
I've
or
known you
crossed
for
paths.
maybe 3 some years. The first time I met you was at the Maximum 100 party.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, because it was right after like Jason, Tardik, and them were coming off the show.
Yes.
And obviously I know you knew Jason because he's
Yes.
friends with your boyfriend Rob.
Yes.
And he was like, "Oh, you got to meet Camille. Like he's dating Rob."
Jason's so great.
Jason's really nice.
A ball of positivity.
And then we met briefly, and then then we met some other event, Venice Beach.
I was just going to say,
Yeah,
was
Venice
there like
Beach.
a volleyball?
Yeah, it
like
was-
something was going on.
was at
Model
Venice-
volleyball.
It was
That's what it was.
model volleyball. Yeah, forgot about that.
There it was.
Model volleyball. That sounds just like it is.
Yep.
How you been?
I've been good. This is kind of wild. I really truly believe in alignment. So I think this was like meant to be, that we ran into each other at a show. And
I agree.
then you were like, want to come on my podcast?
Because I had DM'd you a while back, and I was like, you should come on the podcast because I had never had you on.
I would remember if I saw that. So I must
I
not
don't think you
have seen
saw it. You didn't respond, and it didn't say seen. So
Then
don't
I
think
did
you
not
saw
see it.
You didn't see it. I was a little offended. No, it's fine. Obviously, because you're doing great things out there, so I got to have Camille on. And then I know you're an open book, and it's fun to talk to people who are. And then I saw you because I was like literally going to that show, and I was like, oh fuck, I need to find. And like I was just like, I wanted to find a New York guest.
Yep.
And then I ran into you.
And then I walked in,
Here
and
we
literally you led with, "Hey, good to see you.
What
are you doing on Monday?"
I was like, I gotta have Camille. So here you
And
are.
I was like, I don't know if I want to give availability. I'm scared. What is going on?
You looked a little hesitant. You were just like,
Yeah.
why?
It's like when someone texts you that you haven't talked to in a while. I was like, "Are you available on this date?" And it's like, I'm going to say no if it's to go to a wedding, but it's yes if it's like you want to kick back and watch a movie and eat popcorn and drink.
It's like when someone's like, "Oh, will you do me a favor?" And it's like, "What's the favor?" Because it's like if they don't lead with what the favor is,
just
you
lead
know
with it.
there's something.
Well, and that's the thing. I think people don't do that, especially for me, because they know that I'm already pretty bad at answering. But then if they really ask for a favor I don't want to do, you really won't hear from me.
Well, you're here, and we're happy.
We did it.
We're both here for New York Fashion Week. What do you think of New York Fashion Week? It's my first time at a New York Fashion Week in some time.
Uh-huh.
Your
Same.
thoughts?
I took a break, actually. My thoughts, I've been doing it for a couple years, but as you start to climb up the ladder and with like your brand and career, you get invited to more things. The more visibility you have on social media, especially now. I don't know if you've noticed, I feel like it's like TikTok nation galore.
It's a lot, yeah.
And it's pretty cool. You start to find like your niche. And like I have decided that I am the type of girl that wants to seize all the opportunities, say yes to everything, but it burns you out. And then it doesn't make it fun anymore.
It does. You gotta have, because like I like fashion, but not in a.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Like you realize when you go to Fashion Week just how fashionable Fashion Week is. It's an interesting week, right? Because it's like it makes you appreciate the arts. I will say, like I was thinking about it because obviously, like Fashion Week, like by nature, is such a privileged event in a sense that like it's just to like even have the time or energy or resources to invest in anything related to like fashion and art, because fashion is art.
Yep.
Like it's like by definition, like you must, it's like it's first world problems to be able to care about art, I suppose. But like it also like makes you appreciate like the need for art, I suppose, just because there's always such an energy at these things. And I find that in this week, you just have so many different people from so many different walks of life, all kind of coming together. I know it sounds a little corny, but like that's an energy I felt.
No, truly. And it's a
This
lot
week.
of other artists and creators,
Yeah.
literally creators, a lot of social media creators, but also other people who aspire to be designers or aspire to be models, or, there's so many. And I think what's so cool about going to these things, like I ran into a couple of girls that I've seen in fashion weeks in the past, or that I've had conversations with where, we would talk about like our hopes and wishes and dreams and how cool it was to even be, try to get into a show. I used to try to sneak into shows. Like,
Did you?
yeah. And actually one of my very first fashion weeks, I think it was in like 2016. I was standing in line with my Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine, Sports Illustrated swimsuit during the February fashion week, did a pop-up and did a signing and a meet and greet and like this big like event appearance presentation situation. And I stood in line in the rain with my magazine, hoping to have like all the rookies like sign my magazine and take pictures with me. So it's kind of cool to see how far it's come.
Yeah.
And then, for those who don't know, I finally made my way into the modeling industry without an agent. I couldn't get signed. So I really had to like
Really? You didn't
pave
get-
my own path. No, I didn't get signed before I was in Sports Illustrated swimsuit. And then
You're
even when
crushing
I
it now.
was,
Yeah.
I
Really? You never
landed
got-
the cover with no agent. And then that's when it started. You get that one big yes.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
people are like,
That's impressive.
who are you?
didn't-
What's your name? And what do you do?
You didn't have an agent that whole time?
No. So it was
Wow.
really cool now to go to, we just had, it was my 5th year appearing in the magazine. We just had a launch in New York City a couple months ago. And it's really wild to, now do press. And I was doing like the live correspondence, and now I get to host for them. And just all my worlds are colliding, and my dream jobs and everything I've hoped and dreamt of has come to fruition. And now we get invited to cool shows at Fashion Week.
Yeah,
We
cool
don't have to
podcast,
sneak
yeah.
in.
And cool podcast too. Yeah.
And cool podcasts.
What was your key to success? I mean, what was one thing? I'm sure you did a lot of things, but
Mhm.
for someone who didn't have an agent and
Yeah.
obviously a passion and a desire and a dream to model and do what you've accomplished, and Sports Illustrated, that's like I think that's top 5, top 10 at least of
It
like
is for me.
things you could do on like the modeling stage.
Right.
Like, that's a very prestigious publication. What was your key to success to getting to the top, especially as someone who got so many no's, even from representation? Because honestly,
yeah.
and entertainment, those truly are the gatekeepers. You can have all the talent in the world, whether you're a musician or you're an actor, any type of artist, and if you don't have representation, they truly can be the gatekeepers. And yet you are someone who clearly bucked that trend, so to speak. What do you attribute that to?
I think that you will be able to relate to this, and anyone who has followed this. It's going to sound really cliche and like some positive affirmation bullshit, but I just believed in myself. Like, you can have your friends hyping you up, you can have your parents hyping you up, your significant other, whatever, but if you don't truly, to your core, believe that what it is that you want is what you're meant to do, it is so red. It is so felt, especially in an industry where you literally have to show up in person and appear as you are. And like, everything's energy. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Like, take a shot every time I say energy, because I'm going to say it a lot of times. But I believed in myself, and, self-doubt would creep in, and, low self-esteem moments and things, especially since it's an industry driven by your body image and the way that you look and present yourself. And I have not and will never be that tall Amazon woman, which is exciting to be at Fashion Week and slowly but surely start to see that change. Still a lot to go, but yeah, every room I walked in, even if they said no, or even if I already had like the head shakes or like the, what is she doing here? Like, you're not going to get signed, or you're not, whatever it is, even trying to pursue my hosting aspirations and goals in like the sports world, where, they would see simply a girl with blonde hair and blue eyes and be like, what does she know about sports? Like, you just have to hold your head up high and know, like, I'm passionate about this. I love it. And I want to do big things. And I think I would say tied with number 1, if not number 2, would be finding something you're passionate about and being like, what is your why? What's the purpose behind that? It's one thing to want it and have bragging rights and, make the money, but it's what's deeper and sustainable is knowing your why.
What's your why?
My why is, when I looked at the Sports Illustrated magazine when I was like 15 years old, surface level, someone would be like, oh, you aspire to be a model on a magazine page. No. These women, when they cast, MJ Day, the editor-in-chief at Sports Illustrated, wants to know who you are, what are you about, and what's your why. So my why is, I'm a woman who I want to do it all. I don't want to be put in a box. When I see these women on the pages, it did something for me. It was like, oh, they're raw and they're real. It was like the first time that I saw like hips and thighs in a magazine, that I saw freckles. I didn't see all the Photoshop and everything has to be just so and just right and high and tight. It was real to me. And that spoke to me at such a young age. And it still did to this day. And to be that woman amongst the pages that someone can relate to and be like, I feel comfortable in a swimsuit now. I can buy a bikini, or I can wear that bikini in the beach, or I feel this certain way, or just being able to see an image and feel like you can be celebrated is a win for me. And then on top of it, you get a voice. I didn't walk in with a portfolio. I was not like this established model when I met MJ for the first time. And she said, what else do you love to do in life? And I said, I love to host and I love to meet people and tell their stories. So now I'm a model and a host. And I took my platform and capitalized on that franchise on Sports Illustrated. And, their platform is of millions and millions of subscribers and viewers. And I started the Own It tour where I go to universities and I talk to kids about manifesting your life, stop limiting yourself, get out of your own way, and go for what you want, because I'm no more capable than anybody else to do what you want with this life.
Yeah, I love that. And the believing yourself, it does sound sometimes corny and cliche, but
Yeah.
I will say it does resonate with me. And maybe it's just from my mom giving me confidence, but I'm very grateful for what I've accomplished. I know I've worked hard, all those things, but every once in a while I think to myself, I really needed to have some almost delusional belief in myself.
Yeah.
You
truly.
sometimes have to you really have to there has to be something in you that believes that you can do it. It's going to take hard work, and it's going to take rejection, and it's going to take a lot of people telling you no. And it's sometimes, I'm sure you have those moments too when you reflect back and realize how when you start appreciating where you are, and if you ever do the good thing where you are actually being present, which I struggle with doing, but it often makes you go, wow, I can't believe that all worked out.
I know. Because you don't stop. You just snowball and everything. It's just all happening.
But it really takes that kind of belief of I can do this. You know?
Really does. And it's not I think it's a compliment when people are like, you're so obsessed with yourself. Fucking thank you. Thank God. Do you know how long that took? You know how long that took? And self-love is a journey for a reason. A journey for a reason, because it never stops.
You're right, though. It's such a challenge, though, because my whole life I've have had a lot of debates with people between what's the difference between cocky and confidence. For some people, they have a hard time distinguishing it. Some people might oh, they're cocky, or maybe they're just believing in themselves. And people often project their own insecurities and accuse people of being cocky when they're confident. And people can be cocky. I've certainly been cocky before. But you have to believe in yourself to get things done, even at the risk of maybe rubbing people the wrong way, because you have a belief in yourself they may have yet to find in themselves yet. And that can be a struggle this time, because we all want to we don't want to step on people's toes. We want to have humility. We want to recognize our privilege when it comes to certain aspects. But it is okay to believe in yourself and know that you can do something as long as you're willing to do the work.
Truly.
And it can be a struggle, because your critics will meet you with, you're obsessed with yourself, or you're cocky.
Listen,
but you
if you don't
have to
have
believe
critics,
you're
not doing
not doing it right. Yeah.
You're not speaking up. You're not doing anything.
That's totally true.
I invite it. I don't like it.
I have a question, which is, in approaching dating life, I think dating a model is such a thing in culture, like we see with Leo, and part of that has to do with ages, but he only dates these models. And I'm curious, for you, having a profession that makes you kind of this coveted, almost top of the top in some regards in a dating world, how does that influence your approach to getting to know people, or the way that you trust them in a dating scenario?
I have to say, I feel like I have not been on the dating scene in so long.
How long you and Rob been together now?
Okay, we have been together. I love that this is a dating show, because you all will understand this, but we met in 2013, at the end of 2013 at a charity event.
2013?
I know, I was a cheerleader, so if you do the math, I was going against my contract. Whoops.
Oh, you were a cheerleader for the Patriots, right? I forgot.
I was cheerleading. I was a cheerleader for the Patriots while Rob was a player for the Patriots. And then we did a Thanksgiving Goodwill charity event, and I was signed up to, put in my time, and I wanted to spend my holiday giving back to less fortunate, and so did he. So we met there. Well, we didn't meet. We saw each other and locked eyes too many times. And then he wrote his number on the back of a cheerleading poster and gave it to an alumni Patriots player, Jermaine Wiggins. Shout out Jermaine. He remembers this too. He actually has a radio show. I think he's talked about it before in the past. And he gave it to me and said, give this guy a call. Actually, no, he said, Gronk wants your number. And I said, that's not allowed. He goes, he had a feeling you were a rule follower. So he wrote his number on the back of this poster. So do what you want with it. So, or I think it might have been his name tag that he stuck. Like it said, like, hi, my name's Rob Gronkowski. And he stuck it on the inside of a poster. They folded it up. Cause it's like a Romeo and Juliet story. Like you can't talk to the other side, So, and then it made you want to even more. And then I had gotten out of a really bad breakup and I just wasn't ready to date again. But Rob and I were just had so much fun together. And then it was one of those relationships where I wasn't ready to hook up and I wasn't mentally there. I had been cheated on and I wasn't ready to get out of that relationship. I was forced out, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I was I know I can't go back, but I wasn't ready. So it was really bad heartbreak, depression situation. And then I met Rob and we had so much fun. I was like, oh my God, you make me laugh. You make me forget about what time it is, what day it is. And then that was the recipe for success. We became really good friends. I didn't want to hook up. He was like, what the fuck? I think I want to marry you or date you. And then we had a date quietly. And then it's 2022 now. So 2013 to 2022, we've had our ups and downs
what has
most
been
long relationships do.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I was going to ask you because you've been in a relationship with some time. Relationships of any kind take work, ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a relationship in the public eye. He's an incredibly famous athlete. You have become an incredibly famous model. I'm sure that has its benefits, but it also has its challenges. What would you say is your key to your success in your relationship in terms of how do you work through the lows? And then also how do you guys handle, some of those kind of ancillary stresses that come with being in the public eye that a lot of people don't have to deal with?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I don't even know where to begin. How do I get through the lows?
Yeah, I mean, what's something that maybe I'm assuming there's got to be at least one or two things that you guys if you're together this long, if you work together, you guys
totally. I know exactly
how you guys are resolving conflict or work through it to even avoid conflict in the first place. Because that, to me, one of the biggest keys of any relationship is working through your problems, because problems are inevitable and they're going to happen. And how do two people do that? Because I don't know Rob at all. I know you a little bit, but the more successful, the more beautiful, the more ego you might have, it also can be a trigger for couples, right? The harder they fall, so to speak. So how do you guys avoid those pitfalls, knowing that you guys can run that risk of trying to live up to even your own expectations of this kind of picturesque relationship?
We definitely don't avoid those downfalls. We've had them and we've had breakups through this. And I will say, to go back to your question, there have been times that I was actually single at the height of my modeling career, but that was just it. I almost felt like there was this roller coaster of if my career was on a high, my relationship, my dating life was on a real a low. Me and my boyfriend, me and Rob weren't at our best, but it allowed me to really there's so much truth to pour into you. Don't just go date. Don't just get out there and date. It starts with you. Everything, here's the word, energy. Everything's a frequency. How you feel on the inside is what you start to attract outside when it comes to workplace, career, money, abundance, health, love, everything in all aspects of your life. Pour into yourself. That everything that happened in my career, 2017 was the year that I finally said, fuck it. And I moved to LA and I went out, made my audition tape for Sports Illustrated swimsuit. And from that, and I was in a really bad space personally, low self-esteem, struggling with body image, struggling with my relationship. But no coincidence there. Everything was on a low vibration. So was everything else reflected in my life. I didn't know what I was doing with my job. I didn't know what I was doing with my love life. I didn't know what I was doing with myself. I didn't know. And all I knew was I wanted to move to LA and I wanted to start going somewhere and doing something and using my voice and being at my best and highest potential. And I moved to Los Angeles with no plan, but just faith and that belief in self that I was capable of doing anything that I really wanted to, and I was holding myself back. And I just went for it. But
And that was like on a break that you guys were having?
yeah, yep. And
well, I love that you would, like, it's hard to do. Like, so many people in those breaks or breakups, in which we always talk about, is
you got to move.
It's the best time to invest in your
different,
or
not
just
physically.
invest in yourself.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's like whatever you're gonna do, like take that energy that you talked about.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to waste the energy that we do have on emotions and feelings that we can't control, like missing someone or wanting to fix something that might not be fixable, or especially if maybe it's just a break or time apart is what's necessary.
But when I started to move differently and think differently and started doing things for myself, I mean, what a feeling. It was the first time that I felt what euphoria was like this buzzing out of body experience when I found out I was on the cover, when I found out I was a rookie for Sports Illustrated swimsuit with no help in that industry. You know what I mean? Like just me, myself, and I. The first phone call I make was to my mom. And again, was it a coincidence that all of a sudden Rob was ready to, be a better person for our relationship when, everything was starting to feel good and I was happy and I was like, I don't need him. That's when they come back.
Yeah.
Every time.
What gave you, because I'm a tough critic. People always say, like, you're not the exception to the rule. I don't believe in not believing you're exception to the rule. I believe in trying to be the exception to the rule, but being honest with yourself if you're taking risks, whatever those risks are. And one of those risks is often getting back with an ex, because generally I believe that, like, listen, if it didn't work out the first time, there's usually reasons why. And sometimes we just need to accept that, as sad as we might be. But you guys took a break. You broke up. You got back together. And then obviously you painted a very, I think, relatable story, especially for people who do choose and find that strength to invest in themselves. Things turn around for the better.
Yep. But then when they start to come back, you're like, I did all this work.
How did you feel safe enough to trust, whether it was him or just the relationship, that things would be different? And what was the thing that actually made you believe that it was different after you got back together? Because that's not the norm. The norm is you get back together mostly out of fear of something different, or you don't have the patience to see it through. You get back together and maybe you have a short honeymoon phase again, but eventually the same problems come up. What was different about you guys?
I'll tell you what, the hardest part was going. The hardest part was saying, this isn't for me anymore. I feel stuck. I'm not happy. You're not happy. I gotta go. My 6-month lease out in Los Angeles, because we were living together at the time. Everything was moving like slow but fast, if that makes sense. We were dating while I was a cheerleader for a couple of years. And then I was going to school full time in Connecticut. And then I was like living with, after practices, I would go and how it goes, the toothbrush and then the clothing. Like I start having a side of the closet, everything starts moving in. So that's what makes it harder. Like when it's time to be like, I gotta like get out, like I gotta pack everything up, And so I moved to Los Angeles, the complete opposite side of the country. I was in Boston. And then, but then I started diving into myself and, started working out regularly again and eating right and making my own food and doing things that are like, even just making your own clean, healthy meals is a form of self-love. And that was making me feel better. And so let me get to the good part. When we broke up and I started moving differently in life and getting out of that like stuck phase, and then when he comes, I miss you, I want to see you, let's talk. Here's what the best part about it is. You have nothing to lose anymore. You're out of the house. You already broke up. I always had a fear of communicating what was bothering me because I am someone who likes to avoid controversy and I will sacrifice my own happiness to make my partner happy. And I've always been that. I am not a serial dater. I just always have a serious relationship for years. I would say that I probably have had 4 serious relationships in my life that were like lasted years. And in all of them, I've changed now.
You grinded.
Yeah. Like I would be like, whatever. Like that's, or I'll pick and choose my battles. Like, no, just talk. Just talk. Oh, like we're going to get into a whole other thing like spirituality and stuff, but like you're closing up your throat chakra, blocked emotions, trapped emotions start turning into things that are physical pain. Like you literally, if you're a girl, whoever's listening, please speak up and talk about what's bothering you in your relationship.
Check in, yeah.
Because it always has been good. So when it came time to like see each other again, of course, like it's kind of hot and steamy. You know, like you're kind of like, fuck, you look good.
It's
you
definitely
know?
fun.
Yeah, like, oh, seen you've been doing well. Like, and then you start acting like strangers when like you was like, dude, you were my best friend. Like we used to shower together. Like, why are we playing this game of like, but like that's what happens. You'll see each other for a while, and then it starts to sit in of like, but what have you been doing while I was gone? You know? And then it's like, now I don't want you
Who
anymore.
you been fucking?
Kinda. Fast forward, before we got back together, I was literally like, this is what's bothering me. This is what hurt me. If we were to do this again, like it wasn't all in one day, but
Sure.
over time, I'm putting it in a nutshell. I just really let him know, things as simple as like, when I go to a wedding, I don't want to go solo. Like I know a lot of people, pull you in every which direction and whatever else. But if something that's important to me that my friends are like, I want you to come. I don't want to go solo to these things. I want to go out on more dates, because that life, I'm sure of getting off a season. Like if it's a Super Bowl winning season, even more people want, photos with him or his autograph. And, the year that SI came out, except I was the type of person that like, I love making people stay, but there's always a time and a place, but people don't really care a lot. So it was just letting him know that, letting him know the things that were important to me, and not having fear attached to that.
So
and
so
judgment.
just it sounds like you felt more comfortable and secure to check in, which I think we talk a lot about on the show, which it's crazy how many people I think relate to you, which is to be in a relationship and yet be afraid to check in with the person they call their best friend or their partner, the person they like fantasize with about, playing house and like talk about their future. And yet on a day-to-day basis, there's such hesitancy to like check in. Because we're so resistant to conflict. We don't want to like shake the nest. We don't want to like lose this thing. But like every relationship, there just can be that moment. Be like, hey, again, like there's no accusation here. I mean, Natalie and I had a conversation not too long ago where I was just like, hey, I just wanted to check in. I just was like feeling something. I'm not even like saying you're doing anything wrong. I might be the sensitive one here, but this is how I'm feeling. And I just want to like figure it out, which is like, again, it's something I had to learn to do. I didn't always do.
Yeah.
But very few people like check in relationships. And like, it sounds like all you were checking in with Rob. You're just establishing expectations and boundaries. Like, hey, you have other priorities, but I need to be a priority too. And I think busy people, that can be a real struggle, is like you get pulled in different directions. You meet new friends, you get new exciting opportunities. And in relationships that can feel weird, right? Because you can sense your partner's excitement sometimes with things. And then I think that can make us feel a little like less important to them. And sometimes if we feel less important, like it can like make us nervous, right? Because it's like, well, is this like a temporary less importance, or is this like you don't love me as much anymore? And I think sometimes it's okay to just check in, which we talk a lot about, but it's like it's good to hear how you live through that and getting back together, because you have to feel like your partner's priority. Maybe not always number one, but you always got to feel like I'm a priority. And then when need be, they're going to be willing to say no to other things, because at the end of the day, I just need to know that like I'm with someone who's willing to make these things. Because if not, then like, what do you have if that person's not willing to step up in a time of need?
Well, and I started to notice too that, when you're when you believe you're with your person, you should never feel like you're not being heard or being seen or like feeling small. Like I know it's kind of like a trending thing. I feel like people being like main character energy. Yeah, actually, yeah. This is your life, and you want to be surrounded by someone who's going to like make you feel better, because and I am someone who says take full responsibility for your emotions and your feelings. Like if I'm pissed off about something, it is not Rob's problem. Even if I'm pissed off at him, where's that rooting from? Talk to him about it. After that conversation, if I still want to continue to be pissed off, that is not his fault. Vice versa. If he's in a bad mood and he's miserable and he wants to put it on me, I know damn well at this point, it's never going to be me. Just kidding. Maybe I've done something, but misery loves company. And this isn't just in relationships, this is in life. So if anyone's bringing you down on social media or saying mean things about you, just know happy and successful people don't bring other people down. It doesn't work like that. They're just unhappy with themselves. We talked about projection already. But yeah, be accountable for your own feelings. Talk through things, but your reactions are, the way you respond to things is up to you. But
Yeah.
I would say, we are
Well,
really
how you
big.
feel things and how you respond to them are two different things,
True.
which is people often, I think, confuse. Sometimes we use our feelings as a justification to act a
Mhm.
certain way.
Mhm.
And I think people often get confused by those because
Mhm.
we'll be like, well, I feel this and therefore that's why I did it.
Yeah.
Because you can
That
say,
doesn't mean it's right.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I might help explain it, but I don't know if it's still okay.
Mhm.
And that can be a challenge sometimes too. Yeah. So I think, yeah, to their point, like it's really not, it isn't your problem if the other person, like it's your problem. You have to care and help them work through their feelings.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's not necessarily we are in charge of our own feelings, and then
Yeah.
it's up to our partners if they want to work through it and get on the same page.
Mhm.
But I love that. Do you guys? I'm assuming still are checking in with each other, even though
All the
like we're not
time.
getting back together.
It is like
I mean, by getting like you're together.
yes,
But
okay,
we're
yep.
still checking
We're
in.
together, and we've and after that first initial like this is what's bothering me, whatever, things got so much better on both sides of our relationships. Things that we both didn't even know about each other. And I remember him saying like, I feel a weight off my shoulder, like it felt like it was like two like young Rob and Camille were like reborn, and like here's the more mature version of us, and then we've done it again, and we're now in a space that feels, my best friends have heard, all of the stories, all of the sadness and all of the best times and all of the, whatever the progress or whatever it may be, and if they'll be around us or talk to us on FaceTime or the phone, after the fact, I'll get that text or that voice note from my best friend being like, Camille, like you and Rahab seem so fucking happy. Like, and I am like, he is my best friend for life, and life just feels easy. I think almost, wow, this is like a therapy session right now, but I just think that it's hard being in a public relationship, Like, I guess my relationship for as public as it is, it's like, even talking about this thing publicly, like, it's a fear of mine to talk about it publicly, but I just know that, like, it's okay. Like, we are so, this is who I am, I like to share things. I like to be open. He may not be that way. I am. And I don't want to lessen or quiet, that voice inside me of who I am, because I feel like I'm given a voice and given a platform and have this opportunity to share this, because I hope that it does help someone who's stuck or like needs a new redirection or something to find within themselves or the relationships. I hope that like being able to share this, even though it's so freaking hard, and I almost didn't want to come on the show like 3 times today. I kept checking in with Julie being like, should I do this? I'm going to ramble. I'm going to get personal. So this is hard for me, but at the same time, like, it doesn't matter the status of like myself and Rob in the celebrity world. It's like we're 2 human beings trying to figure it out and enjoy this life that we have.
Do you think the emotion comes from, because what I'm hearing from you, so tell me if I'm right, is
Mhm.
like this like incredible appreciation from what you have, and like you talk about it. I get the same way. Like when I talk about like my relationship, and I've been through my own stuff,
Mhm.
right? And then when you sit down and you really talk about like your gratitude you have for the relationship.
Yeah.
You and Rob had some breakups.
Yep.
But like I think if you've been hurt before in relationships, you don't take it for granted anymore.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes when you take the time to show some gratitude and appreciation and say it out loud, it's almost like like what I hear from you is this like
Mhm.
this appreciation, but like what you've been through.
Yeah.
Not only like you personally, but you and Rob, and to sit there and go, I'm really happy, or this is really good.
Yeah.
It's like it makes you feel
Yeah.
really, really
It's almost
good
easier.
inside.
It's almost
Yeah.
easier to be like, yeah, it fucking sucks right now, or, fuck you, or, excuse my mouth, my gosh. Sometimes it feels easier to come on and be like, yeah, screw your ex, whatever. But it's kind of like when you look in the mirror and you just look at yourself and you say, I love you, Camille, or like, if you were to look at yourself and say, I love you, it's hard. Like, it's hard to do that. So to be able to sit here and say and mean it, that I am like happy, and because there's so many times that I've honestly gone on air and doing press tours of things like, how's this? How's that? And I'm like, it's great. When really it's like probably a struggle back at home or whatever it is, whether it's family, whatever it is. There's a lot of times that I've had to like put on a front. So to be able to just be like at this point in my life where I'm like, I don't care what people say. I don't care how people feel about me. This is who I am. This is what I'm dealing with. And now I've just shared a part of me that I've always kind of kept locked up. So,
Well, I'm really grateful that you have, and no, but I'm really happy for I really can feel your appreciation for not only where you are but where you've been, and it's
mhm,
really it's I'm happy to see how happy you are because I totally relate to the feeling you're feeling right now.
good. Makes me happy.
No, 100. I really truly do.
I'm like, can you cry too? So we can make
I other people crying makes me cry for sure.
Oh.
I felt it when Rob cries. Do you immediately get emotional?
Oh,
What makes
yeah, that's the
Rob
thing.
sad?
Like nothing. That's why I'm like the crybaby in a relationship. It's like at this point, it's like which cry is
Nothing
the
makes
real
him
cry?
sad?
Honestly, I think that was like one of my conversations with him before. Speaking of communication, I was like, I feel like you probably have like a lot of like trapped emotions. Like you need to cry. Like we do Reiki healing, we do yoga together, we meditate, we pray,
That's awesome.
we do a lot of grounding, and I think that's what's also like, I don't know. It's just you start I have to say, I don't have pity parties for myself anymore. I used to have those a lot and be like,
Mm.
I'm sad. I'm going through this. Like, why me? Why me? The second I stopped doing that and being like, all right, there's a rejection. I didn't get this job or this show. I'm being redirected to something better, or I'm meant to have this quiet time to ground myself and get myself motivated for the next best thing that's coming. I started to change my perspective on life. So even getting out of relationship talk, just in general in life, anything that's like a no or I'm late to something or whatever, it was supposed to be that way. I was being protected and guided for something. And I'm honestly rarely disappointed these days. And I mean that.
There's been a ton of media attention around Tom Brady and Gisele Bundchen. And I think, Camille, you're in such a unique vantage point of really understanding some of what it is like to date a football, not just a football player, but a football star. And I'm really curious for you, like how you're making sense of all this. Like most recently, Gisele tweeted support for Tom, but didn't go to his opening game. And there were reports that he left training camp in August for 11 days to go be with his family on vacation because their marriage, they were going through some tension, especially in the wake of his retirement. And I'm curious for you, like how you make sense of this and kind of the perspective that you have.
I actually remember reading like the headline of the tweet from, I think it was like page 6 or something. And I didn't even go and read the article because I don't know their situation. And I also know that the media definitely doesn't know it.
Yeah.
And everything is speculation. There is stuff out on the internet that literally says that Rob and I have been together since 2015. That's what you think. If you believe everything you read on the internet, you got problems for real. It's not like only you know. Like their family, their privacy, and I actually think that they're a beautiful representation of how celebrities should treat the media. Ignore it. Like just be with these. Like their family knows what they're going through better than anyone. And honestly, it could be that they're completely fine.
Well, the thing, almost to their detriment, they've been a couple that has looked flawless,
So
Mhm.
stable.
like right, so stable. So like, just the smallest crack, people will obviously try to make it into something.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was honestly shocked to hear that they. Wait, I'm not shocked because nothing shocks me when it comes to the media trying to make a story out of something. But the man retired. And then he decided to come back, which obviously is a big family decision. So, like, the fact that he took time out of training camp to be with his family
Mhm.
is, to me, like a normal thing. And
Did
doesn't
he ever confirm that though?
he didn't specify
I heard because I
family.
know I had seen the press conference clip and I saw that he had said that, it was personal, that he's 40,
Personal.
45 and,
Yeah.
He's got time.
But they went on vacation with his family, which is like, to me, it's just like, why we don't need to make a big deal about a man prioritizing his family as if like there must be a scandal,
Well,
like
listen, it's something to talk about, and
something to
that's
talk about.
all clickbait action, and especially Tom Brady. Everyone knows how successful he's been, and there's been so much talk about the unretirement. Now they're like, let's talk about the relationship. Are you kidding me? People love that stuff.
Yeah. Do you think I host a sports show on Amazon, and my co-host thinks Rob's coming back near playoff season? Do you have any? I think that's possible, but I think he's done. Do you have anything to add to the conversation?
I honestly, I live with him. I sleep right by his side with our dog, and I could not tell you if there's anything if there's one limitation in our relationship, it's no longer communication, but it is football. I don't know those decisions that go on in his brain. Even his parents don't know. Like, no one knows.
Wouldn't it shock you if he came back?
Would it shock me?
What would you find more surprising, him staying retired or him coming back one more time?
Coming back.
That would surprise you more?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fair answer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's fair for people to have these expectations on like the wives, girlfriends, partners of sports players or athletes to be going to games constantly? Like how much, where's the balance between like supporting your partner in their pursuits and showing how much you love them and this thing that they love, and also having your own life and being allowed to have your own interests and Sunday plans?
Yeah, she missed one game. Shit.
It's like 22 seasons. And he's always going to the postseason.
No, I don't go to every game. Let's go back, like partnerships and relationships, whatever. Let's go back to that main character energy I was talking about. Like, it's your life. They have a family together, yes, but also there's been so many there's been games that I've been at that I see Gisele's post where she's just home in her jersey with her kids. Like, you don't have, like, honestly, going to the games is cool and all, but it's way better to be at home. Like, like the energy's cool, but
watching
after you've
football
done it
games
a bunch
from
of
home,
times, it's like
it's just a better football experience.
Yeah, it is. It is. You don't have to, no game day traffic after. You bounce out of there, be in your own home, and less likely for me to go eat the nachos, you know? It's my healthy food. No, I honestly didn't even know any that stuff about the home opener, but also it was in Dallas.
It's right, it was in Dallas. Yeah. So she's not gonna go to a away game. What else we got?
Well, okay, do we want to talk dating resumes? Do we want to talk Leonardo DiCaprio and Gigi rumors?
Why?
Do we want to talk?
I don't even know this. You could tell. You
Apparently
guys are my news source right now.
There's a rumor that at least Leo's pursuing Gigi and that they've been talking.
Are you talking about Gigi Hadid?
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly. Why?
Wait,
if you're Gigi, why bother?
Wait, I don't know how. If I'm going to get eaten alive for not knowing this, I didn't even know that she wasn't with Zayn anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a restraining order.
I clearly don't read anything.
Right? Wasn't there? Like
there was a whole altercation between Zayn and Yolanda.
They're going through it, or they went through it. They don't seem to be together. But Leo's pursuing Gigi, and if I'm Gigi,
proof of that?
An insider said he, quote, had his sights set on her. And they've also been spotted together. And she's saying it's much more of a friendship. Like, she's interested in kind of a platonic good terms with him. And it seems like
I just don't see the upside if you're Gigi to date a Leo. Nothing against Leo, but just...
Yeah, I don't know.
You're Gigi, you know? And I don't know if I want to date a Leo who seems to... He doesn't have the best track record of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Long term. Mm-hmm. And maybe that might not be fair. I mean, someone could say the same thing about me, and then, so far so good in a relationship. But
if Leo had his eyes set on you girls, would you go on a date?
Yeah, would you say yes to a date?
I'd say yes to a date.
No.
A yes and an F no.
I would have predicted those exact answers.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, yes from the amazing story perspective, but
she's for the podcast, maybe.
I think Amanda. I think if you went on Amanda, if you went if you decide to say if you went on for the story, I bet you'd come back and be like, oh, I judged him too hastily, and he's a good guy.
He's actually really substantive. No, I would go on a date with Leonardo DiCaprio in his black Red Sox hat in The Departed. That is the only version of Leo that I would date.
She wants a certain version of him.
The Boston Leo, nothing else. Allie Wood?
Why not?
I think it's the pattern of, it goes back to the whole thing that he's getting criticized for, the whole jokes about how he won't date someone who's over 25. And sure, if your dating pool is consistently people who are in their early 20s, then your breakups of these relationships are going to come right around that mark. But I think it would just be so hard to go into that relationship not feeling utterly expendable.
We're not talking relationship. The question was, would you go on a date with him?
But then it's his criteria is so clear.
Well, he's clearly asking you out on a date, so you match something.
How would you broach the subject, Amanda, about okay, you're on a date, it's going well, maybe it's even date 2, and you gotta I gotta bring it up. Be like, so what's up? How would you approach the "are you gonna dump me when I'm 25" conversation?
I'd show up looking like shit and see what he did.
Oh.
Just show up looking really, really unpolished. No, I don't. I guess it's No.
If he's asking you out for a reason, you clearly match his criteria.
That's true.
I think
Yeah, but I want to know how you're checking in with Leo.
how I'm
I
checking
mean, if
in
he has
with
his
him.
eyes set on Gigi, it sounds like that's the start. That would be the start if he's asked someone on a date. His eyes set on.
I mean, already just hearing I have my eyes set on Gigi, I want Gigi to not go out with Leo. Because it sounds so presumptuous. Like, well, he has his eyes set on her. They're going to date. And, Gigi could literally, Gigi Hadid.
This is so fun.
Isn't she just as famous?
To just talk, to be on the side and just talk pop culture and gossip and just be like, yeah, and just make up stuff and assumptions and things that aren't even real. This is like, what? I could not do this, honestly.
What, have the conversations?
No,
or
just
be a part of it.
Both?
Be on The Bachelor.
I could not. Gosh. No, actually, speaking of The Bachelor, I have a question. This is because this is me taking advantage of the fact that you're sitting right in front of me. Sorry, I'm switching gears, but girls, this is for you too. If let's just say I was to go on The Bachelor for fun, hypothetical, because that's what this is, all gossipy, hypothetical stuff. What would your advice be for that lasting first introduction impression? Do I do something goofy? Do I wear something silly? Do I what do you do? I would just be like, hey, I'm Camille.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet you.
Intros have nothing really to do with lasting impressions.
Really? Yes, it does. I thought.
Well, yeah, your face.
Oh.
At the end of the day, the your energy, either they're gonna.
So you don't do the corny thing that everyone does.
Well, no, not if you. Usually the corny thing doesn't get you. It gets you airtime.
Yeah, that's true.
But as far as the lead goes, just not to sound corny, but yeah, be yourself and make a connection. Because that first connection, that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like if I were to be the Bachelorette, that I would know my top two.
They usually.
The first day.
They usually.
No, I get shocked. It gets switched around and
Come on.
No, seriously. I guess I choose it from my perspective, not even their connection. I'm like, oh, that one's good looking. And he's nice and has a nice job. I don't know. If I were to go on, I'd be like, all right, first rose ceremony. I have 30 of you in front of me. You two stay, the rest of you go. I couldn't be phony.
That's how they would prefer to do it, but they don't let you.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, trust me, most leads would send everyone home their first night.
I'm somebody who wants everyone to have a great experience. I would be pity kissing people. Did you have a good time on my season?
It's a tough gig.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
There was a TikTok trend of someone handing out dating resumes. It was from her birthday party. She had her friends printed out all these photos of her. So she started writing her name, her age, fun facts about her on the back of it, and doing this TikTok series where she would hand them out to men. And I'm curious, it's kind of similar to almost your Bachelor limo exit of what would you do? What would you put on the resume? If you had truly the back of a 5x7 photo to say something to draw someone in, Camille? What would you do?
In an alternate world, you have to with your LinkedIn dating profile, so to speak.
Here's the thing. I have never in my life, for as many there's so many catfish out there that have my name or my pictures but not my name. What are the things that are what do you usually see on a glance of before you swipe?
Yeah, I don't even mean dating app. I mean a hard pitch. What's your if you had to put a wanted poster, but it was for yourself that people in an elevator would see, and they have to 5 things of why people should date Camille.
Oh, why they should date me? Not even what I'm looking for?
You're pitching yourself.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Number 1, not in order of importance. What's coming to my mind first? Number 1 is you have to love dogs. You have to love animals. All right. Number 2, So
you love animals.
I love animals.
Again, this is about you.
Okay, I know. I love animals. And oh yeah, not what they love. Shoot. Okay. I love animals. Number 2, I live a healthy and active lifestyle. I love to dance. Never not dancing.
Let's remember that about you.
I love to dance, so it would be important to me if they had rhythm. Okay. So dance, move your body, and eat healthy. But we could still have cake and ice cream. Number 3 would be, I think I'm a great kisser. Number 4 would be
Do you think everybody thinks
really
they're a good
important
kisser?
to me? No.
That's a great question.
No.
I think every young person does.
How everybody thinks they're a good driver. Nobody will admit that they're a bad driver.
No.
I don't think I'm a good
Everyone doesn't think
driver.
they're a good driver.
I don't think I'm a good driver.
I've honestly had friends that are like, Camille, just get in the driver's seat, please, because I cannot. And I'm like, my pleasure.
You have to be
Wait.
told you're a good kisser, I think, in order to add that to your resume.
Okay, fine. I take mine off.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been told.
But yeah, you've been told
Yeah.
this. I'm sure.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I just feel like if someone were to see that, they'd be like, oh, is she? And it would be appealing. Like, you got to put that on the resume.
Do you think being a good kisser is about just like well executing, reading the room back and forth, or do you think you have to have a special move to be a good kisser? Like stylistically, you have to
I
have
don't have a
something
move.
compelling.
It's like a feeling. It's like a vibe.
It's
like
a dance.
Yeah.
Kissing is dancing. It's being present with your partner
poetry
and like paying attention. You know, it's a dance.
Yeah,
it's,
like
it's
you
a
don't
dance with
shove
your
your
mouth.
throat down someone. Like
It's a dance with your mouth.
How do you feel about like biting someone's lip?
Oh,
I mean, I feel great about it, but
I don't.
well, like a hard bite.
No. I don't know. I think that's like
No, like grab at all. I don't mean like a typical kiss, but I guess
I'm just like wondering, what do I do? I called myself a good kisser, and I'm like, what do I do? I know how I kiss. I'm not a lip biter, and Rob doesn't bite my lip, so I'm really comparing it to this relationship. It's happened in the past.
I wouldn't
in my
say.
life,
I also want to say for the record, I don't bite for every kiss. But I'm just saying if there's a pull of the lip, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
No, there should be no pain. That's for sure.
I feel like I need to finish my list. Number 4.
Dancer who likes animals, kissing,
and I really just like quality time. Like quality
That's
time
your
is
love
really
language?
important to me. Yeah, and acts of service. Like, I think one of my favorite things about Rob is I always thought it was words of affirmation until I realized I just really like when like Rob will be like, oh, you got to go to the airport in the morning, and I'm packing and it's late at night, and he'll go, I'm going to take your car and go fill it up for you, and I'm going to pull it around in front so that in the morning, put your bags outside and I'll load them in from the front door and I'll lock up behind you.
I really
Love
think
that.
I think a lot of men's way they show love is through acts of service. Not all, but I think a lot of them do. And I think sometimes, and I've said this before, but like I think sometimes those things can be overlooked in acts of service. And I think sometimes men are literally showing love that way.
Yes.
And I think they can be overlooked if you've been dating for a certain period of time because you get used to that act of service that they're doing, and yet they're still showing you love. And I think that's great that you
it's definitely
recognize
vice
that and
versa
feel that. Yeah.
of a woman to a man. And I'll tell you what, whatever the relationship may be, that you know, I feel like there's a lot of people in relationships who do get used to that, and until it's gone, you don't know what you got till it's gone is a real thing. Like you know, a girl making you a meal or turning the light off for you or like just literally simple things in life and tucking you in and, you know, when you're sick, making sure that they're there for you or, you know, simple little things that add up and are looked past a lot of times.
Well, you are certainly someone who clearly has experienced lots of things and learned from them. And from my conversation with you now, it seems like one of your strengths seem to be just acceptance of whatever is going on and the ability to respond, which I resonate with. And I think that's a great quality.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you sharing all those things. Are you down to do some texting office hours with us?
Oh, yeah.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
I'm Allison, and I'm 33.
How can we help you?
So I just met a guy at a party, and he went away on a trip, and I'm kind of like, what should I text him? Should I text him when he comes back or wait for him? Like that whole thing.
Okay. So you're shooting your shot.
Yes, basically.
Okay. And you haven't texted with him since the party?
No, we did text a little bit. So I met him at the party, and it was one of those things where I like saw him across the room and was like, I want you. And so
set the stage.
Yeah.
What kind of party was it?
It was a birthday party at a bar with dancing and all of that. So we connected really well. And then he invited me back to his cousin's party at a apartment where his cousin was DJing on the roof. So I was there till 5 a.m. Like
Amazing.
We really connected. And then he left 5 days later for Peru for a meditation retreat. So we texted a little bit. And so I really liked him. It was like he was like, I think we are compatible because our astrology signs align. So
this call is amazing.
Right?
You're speaking Camille's language.
Oh my gosh, you guys are aligned.
We are. I'm a Virgo and he's a Taurus. So it's like perfect.
I am a Pisces and date a Taurus, and I love a Taurus. And all of my friends and my man. Great choice.
So he had been like, there's this ice cream shop because I'm new to the city that we met in. And he was like, have you been there yet? I should take you there, kind of a thing. And he was like, I definitely want to do this again. But then I did text him after the party and was like, hey, how was the rest of it? I feel like he was kind of lukewarm, but he did say we would connect after he got back. So
I'm reading the text you sent now. You sent, hey, I had a blast. I was regretting I had the morning beach plans and had to leave. When's your trip again? We should do drinks or that ice cream when you're back.
Ooh, I like that ice cream
that was
idea.
Great.
Yeah.
And he wrote back, let's chat when I get back, leaving Friday until the 21st. Yeah, definitely not like the warmest response.
So I'm like, but obviously if you're leaving for a trip, I'm like, am I giving too much credit to the whole he's leaving on a trip? He also has an ex-girlfriend that none of his friends liked. And so they were very excited when I entered the picture because he like keeps going back to her apparently. So they're like, you need a good person, like get rid of this other one. So they were very excited about me. But I'm like, is he excited about me? I don't know.
I think that the timing of this is so interesting that it's one thing to go on a trip. It's another thing to go on a meditation.
He's going on a meditation
retreat.
trip. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
it's like once he comes back, I think he's going to know if he's like going to go back to the ex or if he's going to explore new people, which, and by people, I kind of mean you.
Right.
And then the ice cream date can come to fruition.
I don't love, because like normally I would say, oh, like this is he's on a trip. Maybe you send like a soft kind of check-in. How's the trip going? You remind him you exist type of thing. But he was just very clear. Let's chat when I'm back. Leaving Friday until the 21st. I don't think you should check in.
Oh my.
Okay.
I don't think you need to check in while he's on the trip.
That's what I'm saying. I think, had he not sent that, I would have been like, well, how about
let's chat when I'm back.
Right.
I would have been like, I would tell him to send her. I would maybe say send like some sort of text, being like, "How's it going?" Like blah blah blah. Just keep it casual and not even ask about the date, but just like, "Oh, how's your trip going?" If he was doing something like fun, but the fact that this is some sort of meditation trip and his message, she like asked him about
who was the last one to text though. It looks like a blue.
So here I'll read it to you. She goes, "I had a blast. I was regretting that I had this morning beach plan and I had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
When's your trip again? We should do drinks or that ice cream when you're back." And then he wrote, "Let's chat when I'm back." Did she
write anything after?
Yeah, she goes, "Sounds good. Have an amazing time." He writes, "Thank you," with an exclamation point.
Okay. I was going to say, if you didn't finish it out, I would just, while he's away on the trip, I would just say, I can't wait to hear how this goes. This sounds.
Oh, that would have been good.
But you already said sounds good. And then now we see if he is like, hey, I'm back. And you say, I can't wait to hear about it. But
there's clearly something that's telling you that you might need to reach out first because you're not sitting like just like, oh, he'll like reach out when he wants to.
Right. So, and at the party, he was like, I like it when a girl has confidence. Like he liked that about me, that I was confident in like approaching him. So
listen, there's two ways you can play this, right? You can just be yourself and go for what you want and accept however he takes that, right?
Right.
Which is hard for us to do because we're always in these moments. We spend more time thinking about what will they like or what they will respond to or what they will find attractive. And then when we do that, we actually start negotiating with ourselves about like who we're willing to show who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like the safe thing to do would be to just wait.
Right.
And see if he responds first.
Right.
What would you want to do regardless if we said, we don't know how this guy's going to respond? Like, what do you want to do?
I'm like, if I don't hear from him a few days after he gets back, I'm like, do I push and then see if I get more of a positive response? And then if he doesn't respond, then I would drop it. Or do I just leave it completely on him? I don't know.
I mean, I know myself that I have never been like a game player.
She just
like,
goes for it.
I don't like to, like I said, I was saying it before, I don't want to lessen who I am for somebody from the get-go. If you are genuinely excited to hear from him again and want to hear how his trip went and want to see him again, bad enough, then gosh, is this going to be morbid of me? But like, we're not promised every day. Freaking go for it. Like, live
Right.
without regret. Like, send the message. And if he doesn't respond or accept it or doesn't appreciate that you're like communicating and excited to talk to him again, excited for him to come back, then goodbye.
I'm
Right.
confident in saying that whatever you decide to do, ultimately, like, it isn't gonna like matter, and I mean that in a positive way, because I do believe,
Right.
like,
I know what you mean, like
if you're
thinking
gonna
too
turn
much
him off,
into something.
yeah, if you're gonna turn him
Yeah.
off for like reaching out and show your like the fact that you've thought about him or thinking about him, and that turns him off, then he's definitely not somebody that's worth your
He already
time to
said he
begin
loves
with.
a woman
That's
who has
true.
confidence.
And if he says he's like a woman who has confidence, then you should take him up on that. So I'm convincing myself that maybe you should text him while he's on his trip.
Oh, okay.
if that's
But
what you want to do, which it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds
I'm
like you want to
cons-
make contact, and there's no point in
Right.
waiting till he's back to check in.
Actually, she said what she wants to do is if he doesn't reach out after the 21st or a couple days after,
Right.
then she would say something.
What do you feel about reaching out now?
Well, I'm concerned that if he's on a meditation thing, that he doesn't actually have his phone to text with.
Exactly. I feel the same way. And I
That
also
was-
feel like it's like a disconnected situation.
Right.
Making assumptions,
So
but
I feel like I don't know him well enough to be like trying to chat with him while he's on a meditation retreat. So I kind of wanted to wait. I didn't
You
want
wanted
to
to
push
wait.
it
Okay.
that
I
hard.
don't like small talk. Like I'm like a phone call, let's hang in person
Right.
type person. So when he lets you know like, hey, I'm back in town, where are you at? Or whatever it may be. And if he doesn't, like I said, I think you should reach out if you want to.
Yeah.
So you
So-
hit him up.
How
How we wait a couple days? Do you do it on the day one, the 21st?
No, maybe 22.
right. Okay, so I wait
But
a
listen,
day.
there's something. I guess my point is saying it's just like if you were interested in a guy and he reached out to you and said, "I'm excited to hang out with you," like, would you like it or not? I mean, and I'm guessing the
Right.
answer comes down to whether you were excited or not. And if
Yeah.
does someone being excited about you that you're excited about turn you off? I mean, some people might say that, but they probably need
Right.
therapy.
Right. No. Why would that be a turnoff?
For some people it is, but I'm glad. But I
Right.
guess I asked. So you should act the same way. You want to know
Okay.
if he's excited about you, right? You want to know if
Right.
he's in any way been thinking about you. You want to know if in any way he's just like reminiscing the same ways that you've been reminiscing.
Mhm.
And the easiest way to find that out is to do the same thing you would want him to do if the roles were reversed,
Right.
right? So yeah, maybe reach out to 22nd and don't even be afraid to like hide your enthusiasm. And
Okay.
like,
Okay.
it's definitely the riskier play, but it gets you
Okay.
the answers faster.
True.
Yes. Yes. I don't want to waste time.
What if you were like, "Hey, any chance you've been meditating about me?" Maybe make a meditation
Did I
joke.
pop up in your lingering thoughts?
In case you haven't been meditating about cool places we can go, I
Okay.
thought we should go to. Honestly, that's not a
Oh, I
bad
kind of
text.
like that. Okay. So if he's been meditating about cool places,
I'm
hey,
assuming
I've
you
been
haven't-
looking up flights to Peru. Just kidding.
Be like, I'm assuming you haven't been meditating about really cool things we could do, but like,
I
if
think
you're
you're
free
making
this
up
weekend,
a word, are you?
Meditation?
Meditationing.
Meditating.
Is that a real-
Meditating?
Yeah, I probably am making a
Meditating?
word.
He's been saying meditationing, and I'm just like,
Meditationing?
what's that?
Am I been saying meditationing?
It might be an action word that I just didn't know.
I don't think
about.
it is meditating. Yeah. What do we
Okay.
think about a text that says, yeah, a joke about meditating, a bad joke, but a joke.
okay.
You just told her to be herself, and now you want to write a joke.
That's what she's asking.
I'm like, let's
Right.
grab.
It needs to be flirty.
This can be a special edition episode where I'm like, let's grab cameras, let's get on a flight, let's go to Peru, let's find the meditation.
Stalk him. Yes.
Bust down the
Camille thinks
door.
you should stalk
Are you
him.
interested? Yes or no?
Oh my
Okay.
God.
No, you text him on the 22nd.
Okay.
I don't even think you do the whole like, I hope you had fun on your trip. Like, no. Right? What do
Okay.
you think, Camille? I think you get to the point.
Honestly, what if he's just freaking text her when he gets back? She doesn't even have to lead it.
That'd be
there's
great.
I'm leaving that open. I'm leaving that option open that he's back. Hey, like, let's say it's the 22nd, 23rd, 21st. I don't know. And he's like, hey, I'm back.
Well, then she
Right.
just goes.
Right.
But she's calling in preparation
Yes.
in case he
I'm
doesn't.
new here.
It's okay. So
Yeah,
in
no.
case he doesn't text, if he does
In
text,
case he
we're
doesn't,
good. We're
you-
gravy.
Right.
You say, how you feel. And when I say how you feel, when I say that, I mean just.
We have to come up with a text for her.
Oh, so is that, can I say my idea?
Yeah.
And then you say yours?
There's no bad ideas in
Okay.
brainstorming, Camille.
Yes.
Mine would be, I've been counting down the hours until September 20th. I'm just kidding. I would say, let me think about putting myself in this situation. Okay, and it's Rob. And we met Rob. I met him at a party. I saw him across the way. I'm like, oh my God,
You had a
he's
night.
the one. Yep.
He's like, I'm going on a
He
meditation
invited me
retreat.
to his cousins.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he went on a meditation retreat, which already is a fucking ding ding. It's like self-therapy. Like, oh my gosh. And a Taurus is so grounded. We love a earth sign. And great. Wow. I don't even know how old he is, but like the maturity level of just going on a trip like that is beautiful. So I would say, he didn't text me yet. I would say, wow, what would I say? I don't know how to date. I would say, can't wait to hear about this trip. When are you ready to get ice cream?
That's not bad.
That would work. Okay.
Can't wait to hear.
What,
I
like-
like the presumptive close. I like that. Write that down. We might use that.
I can't wait to
Okay.
hear about this trip.
When are we getting ice cream? Really, it's solid.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
It's kind of hard.
All right.
You could do that, or you can make a joke about, him.
Yeah, I want to hear yours now. I want to hear the
Yes.
the Viall Files advice.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you can make a joke about meditating.
Okay.
Feel like in
Okay.
case you haven't been meditating about me, I thought about some places we can go. Either way, I like that the big thing of what I liked about Camille's is that it was assuming you would go out.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
It wasn't asking or when should we go. If you're, like what I don't want you to do is write anything like, if you're still interested in going out with me, if you're still free, if I don't want you to in any way show that you're hoping or wondering
Yes.
if he's willing or able to go out with you.
You're a prize.
You may find
You
out that
are-
his priorities have changed, but I think you go in with the assumption that you are absolutely going to get dinner, because who wouldn't want to get dinner with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you bring
like
that
that.
energy to the text. So whatever
Okay.
your text is, whether it's Camille's or you're just like, hey, I've been meditating about like places we should go or something.
Okay.
Let's practice some breath work at the ice cream shop.
Yeah, and again, like you're holding him accountable for what he said to you, which he likes a confident person. So go and be your most confident self, and see if he responds to that. And if he doesn't, then that's not a you problem. He either A, wasn't upfront with him liking confident people. That's one of those things. I'm not saying I don't believe him,
Right.
but like you have to be careful about believing platitudes from someone you barely know. And I like
Right.
confident people is like something generic you can say to anyone. And I'm not trying to take anything away from he said to you, but like when you're meeting someone for the first time, like there's no, like we have to have a healthy level of skepticism about like how much they meant what they said when they're saying something that
but then
feels
again,
good.
he immediately from the party invited her to go to like something like a more intimate setting at his
Totally.
family's.
I'm just saying, like
I like that he acted.
I like confident people. Like I'm like, if let's say
I know what you're
fast
saying.
forward, he reaches out and we say, hey, like confident
Yeah.
people, be confident. And then she goes and texts, and let's say he never responds,
Right.
or he blows her off.
Right,
And all of a
right.
sudden she's like, well, he said he liked confident people.
Mhm.
And then we'll spend all this time making it seem like we did something wrong, when in the reality, all that person is they just said some shit. You know? And then you
look into it.
Yeah, and then you look into it, and all I'm saying is take him at his word and do what he said. And if it doesn't go the way you hope, then that's a him problem, not you. And I wouldn't reassess anything you've done. You just, maybe just, I don't know, meditation or whatever the fuck happened. And
Right.
but I just want you to, be like either just assume you're going out, whatever you say.
Okay. I can do that.
Well, okay. So after we do these things, like, how do we hear the follow up? How do we know?
It's a great question.
I'm
We
on a
did a follow-up
cliffhanger now.
episode that dropped last week Friday for some of our other calls. We're gonna follow-up episodes. Sometimes they read follow-ups. She'll let us know.
I'll email you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Good luck.
Well, thank you. This was good.
Yay. And listen, if he doesn't answer, I'll get ice cream with you. I just want to go to a place that has cotton candy ice cream. That's really hard to find these days, but I've got a real big sweet tooth, and I love a girl's girl. So
Right. Okay. I'll see if it has cotton candy ice cream.
Ice cream on me. If it doesn't work out, but it will. Sending you all the positive vibes.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes,
All right, let
nice
us
to meet
know.
you both.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Camille, thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
What a pleasure. I want to thank you for being so vulnerable and open. I know it's not always easy to do, but
I'm already I'm going to be honest. I'm already like, am I regretting this? But you want to know what?
What would you regret?
Being as open as I was about my relationship. It's something I don't do that.
Very inspiring.
Honestly, let me put it this way. If anything I said today helped somebody, just slide in my DMs and let me know. It'll just make me feel a little bit better.
It helped me. I think it helped a lot of people. I love the things you talked about. I related a lot to them, and I think to me, like I said, you're clearly someone who not only believes in themselves, but you've been through your ups and downs, and so much about life is learning how to accept the things that don't go our way, and then responding to them while still believing in yourself, because it's tough, right? It's tough to want to believe in yourself and then handle disappointment. And that's such a challenging thing to do, to believe that you're capable of doing something and knowing that things aren't always going to go the way you want, whether it's professionally or whether it's personal in your relationship in life. And the checking in that you talked about and the acceptance of disappointment, I think, are just two very critical things that come and that are required in both your relationships and professional life. So to me, I think everything you said was well received and appreciated on my end. And I am assuming everyone listening will agree.
Everyone doesn't have to, but I think the biggest takeaway that I just want to put out in general is that like worrying, that it's something that I've learned from the most, that worrying does nothing for you. Nothing. There's no reason to worry about anything in life with like health, love, career, where you're going in life. Just stay positive. It sounds silly, but just stay positive. And if something doesn't go your way, understand that it's a redirection for a reason. And it's all going to be okay. All is well. I say that all the time to my friends. They be like, say a prayer for me, or, I'm scared of this happening. And I'm like, fear is the opposite of love.
Well, it's an ugly cousin of love.
Just sit in your peace and know it'll be well. All is well.
Where can my people find you?
I am at Camille Kostek on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and there's only one me. So it's the blue checkmark me, not the other ones.
Congratulations on all your success. I'm so happy for you. I know you're going to continue to do great things on everything that you are doing. So
back at you, Nick. Back at you.
Congratulations on love. You're an inspiration.
You too.
Yeah.
I like your girlfriend a lot.
She is great. And I hear wonderful things about your boyfriend.
He's a good guy.
Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@castme.com. Cast with a K. For all things Ask Nick. Don't forget to check out that update episode if you haven't already. For all those, everyone who keeps asking, we want some updates from the callers. That's what it's there for. Anything else I'm missing? I don't think so. Pre-order my book, Don't Text Sex, Happy Birthday. The link is in my Instagram bio and on the show description. Pre-order, please. Thanks. Love ya. Got a hard song, Camille.
That was like you're like one of those guys at auctions. Like,
please.
That was so fast. You said so much in such a little amount of time.
I know. I got to get it all in. Most importantly, follow Camille. Pre-order my book. Don't text her. Happy birthday. Don't text her. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching, but before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos like our Mondays Ask Nick for your favorite relationship stories and advice, and our Tuesday Bachelor recaps. See you next time.